morning. Hit the go live button for TikTok for me, babe. Got it. Oh no. Okay, forget it. Hey guys, I'm trying to set up. I was going to do TikTok for the first time, but it's not going to work. TikTok is wanting me to facial age, got to verify your age before you go live and all this stuff. But I'll do that another day because I actually am getting ready to head off to Colombia. But I wanted to talk to you guys this morning. It is still morning. It's a wonderful day in Mullins. I hope all is doing well. I just want to make sure that I'm streaming correctly. And I have some stuff to talk about. I'm actually coming to you today as Miko Pickett, not Mayor Miko Pickett. All right, let's see. Hubby's here. Yep, I'm good, babe. All right. So one day I'm gonna do the whole TikTok thing. I love TikTok. I do. It's so much fun, and I think it's going to be a great way for us to maybe reach out to a younger generation. And I know a lot of what I have to say is not fun, and in some cases it can be boring. Good morning, Keisha. I hope all is well in Charlotte, North Carolina, one of my favorite cities. Favorite cities in the U.S. Definitely. Thanks, babe. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. So first, I do want to briefly talk about yesterday's special call city council meeting and the business that we did not do that we still have to do. And then I'm going to get back into Miko Pickett. So, man, where do I even start? Let me say this. The meeting yesterday was on, good morning, Paul. So the meeting yesterday, and if you have any questions, come through with your questions, was on Mayor Miko Pickett versus the city of Mullins. So I want to be clear, and my attorney is working on the details, but it's Miko Pickett, right? I'm standing up for my personal rights. Okay, so it's not about. I'm live, honey. I'm live. Can you come back? Okay. So I'm sorry, y'all. So it's about Miko Pickett standing up for her personal rights, right? Because it's just not. I just don't feel that it's been right the way I've been treated, and that's it. So I'm speaking up, right? I'm not intentionally suing our city. Things have to be done right. They have to be done legally. They have to be done above board. And it would be nice if everybody had the same. What's the word, y'all? If everybody had the same. My husband gave me a word, but that's not the word. The same. Let's just move forward. Let's put it that way. Let's just move forward for our city, right? So my job as mayor in our current form of government, I want to be able to do a whole lot more. But my job in our current form of government is to be the cheerleader of the city. And, so anybody can do that, of course, obviously. Anybody on council can do that. So what I've been doing since the suspension on February 27th is just that, is doing what any member of council. So what you've been seeing me doing is what I was doing as mayor, but what any member of council can do. It's the formalities that I'm not able to do. And, and all I'm asking is for fairness, and that I believe has not been done. And I could have a lot more to say about that, and I will have a lot more to say about that, unless you guys have a specific question. But I have to let the legal process kind of work its way out. Good morning, Cynthia. So, but so they came out the meeting and they went into executive session, which, check this out, I was going to recuse myself. I actually sent the city administrator an email letting her know that that was my plan, to recuse myself. And let me tell you what recuse means. Recuse means that, and you don't have to do it, it's ethically you're supposed to do it, right? If something is happening in a city and there's a vote and I have a financial interest in it, then I should let everybody know, hey, look, I'm going to let my other council members handle this one because I have a financial or otherwise interest in it. So, in talking with my attorney, when I let him know that somebody on city council had requested a special call meeting, that, I had planned on recusing myself, and what did he think? And he's like, yeah, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about the gavel situation, Paul. So so they made the motion. So it's motion, second, discussion, vote, right? So they made the motion, they made the second, then we went to the discussion. Before the discussion, the attorney was already standing up talking about he recommends that I recuse myself for blah, 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 blah. I was like, hold up. You got to be kidding me. This is all part of the circus that these folks are creating. Because those are my words to say. He never give me a chance to say it. Now, if we would have moved to executive session and I would have voted to go to executive session, then, okay, attorney, parliamentarian, I think we have a conflict of interest here. Mayor Pickett, I recommend you recuse yourself. He didn't even let me say that. Totally out of order. Totally out of order. What on the whole planet? First of all, I won't even say it. I almost was going to say something not nice. But anyway, so that's why if you guys watched the city council meeting, why I reacted the way I reacted. It was not his place to say it. It was mine. And if I hadn't done it, then yeah, he could say it. But I was doing it in the process of actually, he didn't even give me a chance. It was like, oh man, I want to say more, but I can't. There's a legal process that's going on. All right. So we're going to let the legal process go its way. But that's the first issue, was the whole recusal thing. And that's why I reacted the way I reacted. And I did have like a sidebar conversation with some of the folks while council went back into executive session without me, and still trying to find out what's going on with the trash not being picked up. So I'll let you know as soon as I hear back. All right. So Paul says, why was she swinging that gavel at you? The reason why, let me think, was the gavel in the first part or the second part? I'm trying to think. Was the gavel in the first part or the second part? Y'all, I'm trying to think. When it came back from the executive session, I don't remember why. I don't remember. I got to go and look and see. But so what happened is that I was speaking up in regards to, okay, it was in the first part. So this was about it was about me recusing myself. And yes, I was upset that, this is my point to recuse myself, right? And he spoke up for me. That wasn't right. I should be able to speak up. If I don't recuse myself, then you as the attorney and the parliamentarian say, we got an issue here. But he started to say what he started to say. And I'm like, no, that's my point to say. That's my job to recuse myself. Those are my ethics. And so he does these things for stance. Like even how they put it on the agenda, it said, on the agenda, it said Mayor Miko Pickett versus the city of Mullins, v. City of Mullins. I ain't suing the city, not the mayor. Told you it was me. So anyway, so she's trying to gavel me to shut up. Again, to silence my voice and everybody else's voices, right? Trying to gavel me to shut up. I'm sitting right next to her. Bang, bang, bang. Right? Sitting right next to her. So, was I out of order? I'm going to say this. I should have said to Madam Chair, Madam Chair, can I have the floor? And I did not. So I was out of order because I should have said that. Madam Chair, can I have the floor? However, my voice had already been taken away from me. So yeah, I spoke up. And then she's trying to gavel me to be quiet. And then just kept gaveling, but now not on the actual, there's like a little block that you gavel on that makes the noise. And it was just like in the air, just like in the air. And you'll see me say, are you trying to hit me? Because I felt like it was going to happen. But let me tell you this, because some people have texted me, I'm all good. I'm all good. Seriously, I'm all good. I have no issue with any of that. Her and I talked after the meeting. She apologized. I accepted the apology. I also told her going forward that I would request the floor. And I asked respectfully if I can get the floor when requested. So, that's all good. I think that it exposed some things. I have nothing but love for anybody on this planet. Do I dislike what they do? Yeah, I dislike what a lot of people do. And I'm going to call them out. But it's all good. So I hope that answered your question, why she did it. So the other question was, Keisha says, what exactly are they investigating? So this also came up yesterday. And then I heard City Councilwoman Terry Davis say she hasn't been interviewed. I haven't been interviewed. So if you're doing an investigation, you should interview me. If you're investigating me, you should interview all city council. So she has not been interviewed. Only thing I know about what they're investigating is what they said at that meeting on the February 27th meeting and what was in the minutes. And it was one sentence from each one of city council. One person said that I don't let them know what's going on. I've heard them say before, did I do too much? Keep in mind, they wrote an ordinance to stop me from being able to write grants for the city. And we've had opportunities pass us by, right? So they don't want me to write grants for the city. I'm doing too much. They find out stuff on Facebook, which I told y'all I was going to be transparent. And then it's the email. So let's talk about the email. So when the interim attorney told me that he was going to go down to the election commission office and change the date of our election based on a document that was 22 years old, I took offense to that. Oh, no, you're not. That's something that the citizens need to be aware of. That's something that the city council needs to be aware of. There needs to be a vote or something. And I said in an email the next day to city council that if this happens, well, I didn't say it to city council because let me tell you, we cannot, anytime more than 3 of us are meeting, then it's a violation of the Freedom of Information Act. That includes email conversations. So the way I choose to do it, either I will BCC council on an email if I send an email, or I will send an email to the clerk and administrator and ask them to send it to council. But I never directly communicate with council because you all need to be involved in everything that's happening in the city. This is not my city. This is not their city. This is our city. And we are representatives of the citizens of Mullins. Anyway, so let me keep going into what they're investigating. So anyway, so I sent an email. And in my email, I absolutely said I completely disagree with this. And also the process. And I sent another email that said this process is all wrong. And here's an ordinance that tells you how it should be done, who should be directing the attorney. Yes, I did. That's my. I didn't do that as the city of Mullins. Yeah, I did that as Mayor Miko Pickett from the mayor's email box. I did it, and I'll do it again. So I guess that's what they're investigating. I don't know, but that's the only thing that I have heard of. But keep in mind, what's today's date? Today's May 20th. That was February 27th. Oh, and by the way, the person that I complained about in my email is the interim city attorney. And guess who's doing the investigating? So then I get a hold of some bills and I see the interim city attorney is doing the investigating. And so is and when he can't do something because he has a conflict because his wife used to work for the city, so he has a conflict. But yeah, he's still going to do it. And he still went into the executive session and he has a conflict. And my issue, my complaint, your mayor's complaint was about the interim city attorney. So when I found out that we were paying him $185 an hour for the privilege of this craziness that our city is going through, right? That our city is going through, I said, anybody can do that. Let's get an independent investigator and pay them $185 to do it. Anyway, so I answered that question. I answered that question. Um, how did they make a commitment that was not on the agenda? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So let's talk about $185. So $185 is supposed to be protecting us from doing things that's not right. It's constantly happening. The agenda said what? Executive session. It didn't say any action was going to be taken, but action was taken. They created a committee. Now let's talk about the committee though. So on committees, you can every committee meeting has to be announced 24 hours in advance. Minutes have to be taken, and it also has to be the public can attend. So if you see the legal committee and they put on the agenda that they're talking about Mayor Miko Pickett, you can attend. I can't attend because if I attend, then it's a quorum. But you all can attend. 3. And then they could go into executive session. So the 3 people that they chose for the committee was Councilwoman Pompey, Councilman Woodbury, and I think Councilwoman Wilson. Right now, keep in mind, this has all been set up since the interim attorney. They've been working on it because they took away my ability to write grants. They took away my ability to create committees, right? Because prior, the mayor was the one that created the committees. Now they can create their own committees. So they create this committee for what do they call it? Lawsuits, which the city gets sued. We do. So that, but they can go into an executive session. And then the 3 of them could talk on your dime, you representing them, and you won't know what's said in executive session. But they can't take any action, right? They have to come back out and tell the citizens what's going on. That's what's supposed to happen. So, and that was not on the agenda. Agenda did not say that could be action could be taken. So that's just basic Robert's rule of law. Going through the comments, y'all. Yeah, I hear you, Ashley. I'm not going to get into the personal stuff with folks' names, because it's like I think we can keep their names out of it. It's about our role and it's about the districts that they represent. Because what you see happening, okay, the trash people were complaining about the trash truck. I don't know why it's delayed this week, but they're here. Yay. All right, good. So if you're seeing this, the trash is on its way. All right, I'll let them go. So let's see. I'm gonna look at some more questions. I'm gonna put this up because Miss Page. Let me say that thing. Let the trash man do his thing. Our community employees, I appreciate them. I usually wave. I need to give him some water. It's hot out there. So let's talk about city council. Terry Davis, when this is just my opinion and from what I've seen from my mentor, and my mentor is Terry Davis, is that when you elect somebody to be your representative, they live in your community. So when they're driving by, they're seeing what's going on in your community. And they're saying, oh, we need these houses taken down. Or, oh, there's excess. We got to figure out what we can do differently about debris in our community. Oh, there's a pothole, right? That's what a representative does. And that's what, so Terry has District 3 and I have the whole city, right? And then statutorily, I have some other responsibilities. But anyway, so Terry has been my friend for a long time, long time, since I knew my husband. And I've seen her, right? So if she's in the car with me and we're riding through her district and she sees somebody that has like a lot of stuff, I've seen her do this. One time we was driving down Church Street, somebody's out there, and they had all this stuff in their yard. She said, pull in. I'm like, what? Pull in. Pulls into their yard and says, what are you going to do about all this? And had a real nice conversation with them, right? She saw that her neighborhood was deteriorating and she went door to door. So those 27 homes that are coming down and, other people are saying, well, who's next? What district is next? It's very important who you elect. And let me tell you why. Let's say after District 3, we go with any random district, District 1. I'm just making it up, right? To deal with the abandoned homes. It's not that easy. You can't just sit on your laurels as city council and say, hey, my district's next. No, Terry had to contact people. She had to contact family members. She had to go door to door. Surveys had to be done. And this is because we had a grant writer that was helping us with all this, right? So we had a grant writer that was helping us. Terry Davis was going through this whole process, right? It was a lot that was actually getting done and happening. So you got to be careful who you elect. Make sure your city council person knows what you want and what's important in your community. For those of us who don't live in Mullins, how can we support? You can support the grassroots effort. And I hope people are going to stick around because I want to tell you about some citizens have a movement called Let Mullins Vote. And they're doing a petition to move the election back to November. And I have a little notes to talk about that. They need help. They need financial. If you do not live in the city and you love the city and you support the city and you're from outside the city, they need help. They need financial help because things that they're going to need to do, like printing and all that, it costs money. So you can contact Edla Vaughn. And Edla Vaughn, she's on Facebook. Or you can contact me and I'll put you in touch with Edla. Okay. So thank you so much, Keisha. That was a great question. But they need help. And you can put $10 in, $50, $100, okay. I hear you, Marek. My page, the garbage truck of Mullins on Buck Street. Oh, trash on pick up. Yes. So that may be debris, Cynthia. Cynthia Wilson is talking about the garbage at Buck Street. Call City Hall 843-464-9583 and let them know that you have debris that's been out there for a long time. And if you don't get through, call me. Yes, I see you, Reagan. I'm gonna make sure I add that to my notes to talk about. All right, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to what I was talking about. So, so you heard some folks say yesterday that what my suspension is not about elections, and it absolutely is. It's about silencing the voice of your mayor. It absolutely is. So, and then this morning, I found out that the governor just signed yesterday a municipal election bill that basically, if your last election wasn't in November, then All municipal elections need to be on off years. Look at that. So it is so important, and I'm still dissecting what the governor signed. But that being said, y'all, the citizens that are out there trying with the petition to switch our elections back is more. It's important more now than ever. Now, keep in mind, why communities like ours are getting all this. It's coming from higher. It's not coming from God. It's coming from someplace else, and we know exactly where it's coming from, and we have to fight it. And I won't fight it tooth and nail, But however, I'm the mayor, and as the mayor, I'm gonna follow the rule law, and so our elections have been changed to April. But I also support the citizens of Mullins, and the citizens of Mullins, if a percentage of them decides, 15% of the citizens of Mullins decide that they want to switch it back, they have the power to do it, and I support y'all wholeheartedly. And I always say the citizens have the final say. Okay. So again, the citizens that are working on that petition to switch it back, you can contact your local NAN chapter member, and it's 50 of them. So you can contact your local NAN chapter member. You can join NAN. The membership fee is only $25, and you can reach out to them and say, hey, I want to sign this petition. Follow the NAN page, Marion County NAN, and also contact Ed LaVaughn. So let's talk about redistricting. So everything, I'm gonna park unless you have any questions. There's a lot going on in Mullins. My attorney is dealing with some stuff. Meanwhile, I'm gonna still do what I do. I'm gonna still represent you. I'm gonna still have community events. I'm still driving around listening to what you have to say to me. Because even if it's not something I could take action on right now, right? I'm in those rooms. I'll know what's important to the hearts of the folks that live in the city of Mullins, and that's what I take most pride in. Let's talk about redistricting. So, and how it affects Mullins. So first of all, our president of the United States called the folks at South Carolina State, including the governor, and told them that they need to get rid of Jim Clyburn. You heard. They need to get rid of Jim Clyburn. And some in the House, some of them have said themselves, if you listen to the news, and I've heard them say that they want to send 7 good representatives to DC to support Trump, to help Trump. To help him what? So you want to take one of the most powerful representatives that's from the state of South Carolina, y'all want to remove him altogether, send 7 good ones. What's that supposed to mean? So let me break this down. He's the only African American. Jim Clyburn is the only African American of our 7 congressmen. So in DC, in Washington, D.C., to represent us. So if you're in Mullins, I'm representing the whole city as mayor. Terry Davis is representing District 3, right? Then you go up a little bit, and then you have the State House. Right now, Lucas Atkinson is representing us as State House. And then you go up, and Senator Kent Williams, he has an even bigger district, and he's representing us as Senate. Now, in D.C., so when it comes to increasing the federal minimum wage, Medicare, Medicaid, healthcare, insurance, food, Veterans Affairs, all those stuff, that's all federal. And so our federal representatives, because of the number of people in our state, South Carolina gets to send 7. And Clyburn is one of them, okay? So Clyburn just so happens to be the only African American. So when the mask was created, they tried some stuff before to say that because let me get it out. South Carolina is 28% African American. That's 1 in 4, a little bit over 1 in 4. So really, fairly, if we had a representative number of voices at the table, right? for South Carolina, we should have 2 districts where African Americans can have their voice and can send their person. Now, that doesn't mean they have to be Black. That doesn't mean, because the person running for Congress right now, he's not. That just means it's our person of choice, right? So doesn't mean they have to be Black. So we really should have 2. So we only have 1. It's Clyburn. Coming out of Reconstruction, that was the first 8, right? So, but now we only have 2. I'm sorry, we only have 1, but we should have 2. So they sued. They lost in court because they said that this map wasn't racially gerrymandered, even though if you look at Clyburn's district, it's crazy. So anyway, so they lost in court. Now here we are back with redistricting. Trump makes a phone call. I need more votes in DC. And you guys know what's going on there. And if not, I'll have another talk about that. So now South Carolina has to get to work. Now, let me tell you what's going on. So South Carolina has to get to work. Well, absentee ballots have already been sent and received for the old map. So when this goes through, because it most likely will go through, we're going to apply the pressure. We got to keep applying the pressure. But when this goes through, we will not have potentially any representation. And I say potentially because let me explain it. Right now, Marion County is in CD 7, and Congressional District 7 is the new map is going to be Horry County, Marion County, and Charleston. I'm sorry, Horry, Georgetown, and Charleston. Marion is no longer in there. So if you guys been hearing from Vincent, and he's been campaigning for the last year, he won't even be somebody we can vote for. And next week, early vote starts Tuesday. So check this out. His name may still be on that ballot. But then they're going to create another election. This is confusing, I know. So there'll be another election. I think the date they're looking at is August 11th. So everybody who's overseas, everybody who absentee ballot voted, they've already voted. And their vote don't count if this goes through, because it has to happen again. And if you got a letter, if you already early voted once, and then you got another letter in the mail to say vote again, you guys are on Facebook. What if you're not? You won't even know. You're like, wait, I'm not voting twice. What's going on? So now let's go back to CD6. So the person who we've been talking to, we've been telling what our issues and concerns are for this last year, because he said he wanted to be in Congress. He won't even be in our district. CD6 is Jim Clyburn's district. But wait, they cut his house out. So where Jim Clyburn lives is no longer in his district. So Marion County, we theoretically may not even have any representation if Jim Clyburn does not decide that he's going to run in a district that he doesn't live in, because at the federal level, you can do that. You just have to be a member of the state. You don't have to be in that district, I believe. It makes sense for you to be in the district, right? I'm still unpacking all this. So CD6, we don't have anybody. We don't have anybody. And this all will have to be worked out. Candidates will all have to be identified for primaries in just a couple months. Now, what kind of representation is that? Now, what they think, it's up to Mr. Clyburn. I respect him so much. I've read his latest book, The First Aid. I read both his books. I know about him. I know about his family. I'm a Jim Clyburn fellow. They're underestimating what he can do. But it would be odd for somebody to be our representative and they don't even live in the district. So there's more to come on that. There's more to come on that. It's actually quite terrifying that this is what our state and our federal government has come to. They are doing some crooked stuff that's just not right. It's just not right. Our voices are trying to be squashed, trying to be squashed. And there's more to come on that. I'm actually, the reason why I'm going to Colombia is I'm going to testify. So pray for me, y'all. I'm putting my words together in terms of how I address the Senate. If I get in, I'm driving to try to get in anyway, but how I address the Senate in regards to redistricting and what they're doing to the district that I live in, what they're doing to the democracy of the state of South Carolina and our national government. How are we going to say that we're not living under some crazy authoritarian rule where somebody from DC can call down into South Carolina and they make these moves last minute? Um, yeah. So I have received a few phone calls from concerned citizens about who's running and asking me for my endorsement. As mayor, I wasn't going to do a full suite of endorsements, but I changed my mind. As Miko Pickett, I will be. So this Memorial Day weekend, I will be coming out with my endorsements on all the seats in the districts. So the state level races, local races. I will be coming out with my endorsements, and I will have it printed. So if you want to print a copy, just let me know. I have somebody that's going to be giving them out down in Britain's Neck. So, but I will be coming out with those endorsements. And the endorsements that I will be making will be people that I know, people that I spent time with, candidates that I know are for change, like for real. Actual legit conversations, coffees, dinners. This is something that is really important. And I've been living and breathing, and I just want to share with you so that when you go to the ballot box, that these would be folks that would be candidates for true change in our community. So I've talked a long time. Let me see if I have any more questions. Columbia trip tomorrow. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So tomorrow must be the postman. Oh, nope. Another neighborhood dog. The dogs are collaborating with each other. I'll put it that way. So tomorrow, Nan is putting together a bus. Actually, we got two vans that are going to be leaving from Mullins to Columbia. And in Columbia, there's going to be a huge rally and protest of redistricting because they got to hear us, right? Yes, the Republicans have the supermajority. They could do it if we don't do nothing, right? They could do it, but they got to feel the heat, because if they feel the heat, there's a chance that somebody's morality will click in. There's a chance. So tomorrow, National Action Network is taking two buses to Columbia where Black Voters Matter, Black Voters Matter, I want to be clear on which organization it is, Black Voters Matter, and the ACLU is having a protest at the State House. I will be there. And if you're interested in coming, you can hit me up, or you can go to the NAM page, or the number is 843 977 2263. 843 977 2266. 847. Oh, shoot. I get it wrong. I could put up on the banner. 843 977 2266. You can call or text that number if you want to ride in the vans with us. We will have two vans, and we're leaving tomorrow from Mullins. And we're leaving here at 8 o'clock in the morning. The protest starts at noon. So 8, give us a chance to get there by like 11 o'clock, and then get to the protest, hear the protest. The protest is only an hour and a half. 1:30, it's over. We're going to get back in the vans and come on back to Mullins. But this is your chance to be part of history, to be part of saying our voices will not be silenced. Will not be silenced, right? So if you want to, you don't have to say anything, you have to do anything. Just get in a bus and go and be part of the crowd, okay? So thank you so much, Tawana. That's beautiful. That is very, very beautiful. And I will say to everybody on this closing note, I appreciate everything. I appreciate the prayers. I appreciate the notes. I appreciate the texts. I appreciate the messages, the inbox. Keep going strong. We love you. We care for you. And I feel it right back to you, you know. And I will say this is that I want to move forward. So, you know, don't feel like you have to. Folks that have done stuff to me, they just expose themselves, right? You know, the whole thing, like I said, with the gavel, we have, she apologized, I apologize for not asking for the floor. We're all good. We're all good. And our city deserves more. We deserve a council that has council members that look and act like Terry Davis. Absolutely. And I will say this. I will say this. And this may be sound a little strange coming from some of you, but I'm actually sitting on the finance, coming from me to some of you. I sit on the finance committee. And I will say that Luke Gasquet, in terms of how we're managing the city finances, how we're making sure that we're tapping into more money when we need to tap into more money, how we are looking at the expenses. He is doing a great job there, and we are working together on those things. So that committee we are working together on. Um, you know, I will say that, and only that. There's a whole lot more that can be done, um, but I will definitely say that. So, you know, I'm gonna end with this. It is definitely time to vote. It's definitely time to sign the petition. Let's go ahead and get that petition signed, because when you vote matters. And the way this has happened in our state, is quite possible that this could be it. That if we do not switch it back, we may not ever be able to vote when people vote. We'll be voting when nobody votes. And that will open up the city of Mullins to a whole lot. Nefarious people can come in here, pack the council, do what they want to do with our city. That's not how it's supposed to work. Your voices matter. And to make your voices matter, you have to make your voices count. But I love you. Thank you so much for the prayers. Thank you so much for the support. Heading over to Columbia now. And you all have a blessed day.